What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking out the ST-A2, a better rating 6.3 Japanese medium tank. It is decidedly average in every way except for its gun, in my opinion. The mobility, the armor, the turret rotation, everything that you can imagine is mediocre on this vehicle, except for the gun. The gun is actually quite good at this BR. It's otherwise a 5.7 tank, but because it gets heat FS, it gets a higher battle rating. At 6.3, it's going to be up here quite often. You're going to see anything from 5.7 T-3485s up to 7.3 Conquerors. I mean, you got a wide range of stuff to go up against. Generally speaking, I will load APCBC shells as my default shell, and then swap to the heat FS if I encounter something that's got really good armor. In this case, most of the vehicles I'm facing are pretty low in armor. My god, look at that round. Just once it gets the ammunition racks in a vehicle like that, it's like a fireworks show. Yeah, I take two quick tanks to start off the battle and push on towards A as I see it. They're about to get that gap. Quelling gets taken out again with the APCBC shell because again, you don't need heat FS the majority of the time. Tank gets marked behind me. Instead of actually looking around to see what it was, I push out and get punished for it. T-44-100 has got way too good of a gun for me to be just charging in there with reckless abandon. I did recently bounce a shot from a T-34-85. It just bounced off the top of my turret, I believe, and it was actually quite surprising because ordinarily you wouldn't bounce that shot. Because the T-34-85 has a really good gun, and this armor is really mediocre. I would say the strongest part of the armor is actually the lower front plate. It's quite unusual because ordinarily the lower front plate is the weakest part of the armor on the front of the vehicle. And the CSU pops up. Take aim, one shot, hold break. You'll notice that the zoom on the gun is just ridiculous. It's like tier 5 level zoom. It's absurd, and it can get you into binds. You can get into certain situations where you're actually better off using the third person view rather than going into the sniper view and zooming in. There have been a number of instances where I've been either killed or nearly killed because the zoom, it got me disoriented on certain maps in certain situations. Like this map, for example, can be quite difficult to manage that. Carpathians is another map where that's happened to me. It's kind of odd because ordinarily I use the zoom almost all the time. I would say 90% of my kills are with the sniper view and zooming in fully. But with the ST-A1 and 2, you're often better off just using the third-person view and just taking the shot that way. But again, it's something you have to work out. Why aren't we capping A? The quelling up here just racking up kills on the other side of this monument. You notice that the ST-A2, even though it's fully upgraded, it's pretty sluggish in moments like this. It feels like it needs another 100 horsepower to be really good, but it does well enough. Now, if I had used heat FS, that probably wouldn't have been a one-shot. But APCBC is excellent. It is, after all, the 90mm ammunition that you get with the Americans, like the M26 Pershing, for example. It's outstanding. Got good penetration, good high explosive filler, and of course you also have heat FS there to back you up. That's always an option. We would finish out that game. I would get one more kill. It was a spawn camping situation against a Panther, but we didn't need to show that. Spawn camping is boring. Game number 2, we're on the same map, different sort of situation. I've been driving around trying to find something, and I knew something was over here. I didn't want to push him until he came out. Let him be the one that's impatient. The T-34-85 is down. I see more movement behind this little area. Not really sure what quite to describe this. Another T-34 over here. I'll wait for him to push out. Try to get the turret ring, and so close. Just mere pixels off that shot. A Panther F is going to come around here to my left. Gotta be careful of him. Here we go, Panther F. I don't know how he missed, and again, just mere pixels off. I was worried about hitting that concrete that was, you know, that concrete debris there to the right. So I ended up missing. Alright, where's the T-34? Panther's still pushing. You have to be somewhat careful with this vehicle, not just because of the poor armor, but because the reload, it's 9 seconds. T-34, come on. Tank, it just does not have quite enough horsepower to rotate the vehicle and get it into a good position. The T-34 ends up slipping by, and I would go in looking for somebody else to shoot at. Sure enough, same area as the other T-34 came from. Got another guy that's moving around. This is an earlier T-34. Come on. Nobody here. Alright, you're not going to push. I'll just back up and let you come around the corner. That wasn't that bright. But it is another T-34. And thankfully, that round had enough explosive filler that it took out the gunner. I didn't have to worry about getting shot. Because he would have been able to pen me from the front, no doubt about it. It doesn't have to be necessarily a T-3045 in order to penetrate the armor on this thing. The turret is especially weak. Not just from ordinary tanks, but even from SPA. In that first battle, I engaged 2 Quellians. If either of those had been able to get a shot on my turret, I would have been dead. The armor on this is quite weak. That's why you have to be very careful and use any sort of hard cover you can, and put that in between you and the enemy. You cannot reliably bounce a shot. Certainly not in an up tier, and you would do good up tier quite a bit. Unfortunately, Japan doesn't have any really good 6.3 or 6.7 tanks. This is quite possibly, this and the ST-A1 are quite possibly the weakest 6.3 tanks in the game. So I'm just looking for that original T-3045 that slipped past and killed the chieftain. I know he's got to be around here lingering. Sure enough, he's right around here setting up an ambush. Pop him right in the back of the turret and push on up. Got to start getting these caps on our side. I got plenty of guys over at Charlie. Gotta check my right, nothing there. Check my left as soon as I push into the cap, because I know as soon as I get in here, it's going to alert everyone. Oh, we got gunfire. And that's a Panther G. On, aim that shot. Ooh, beautiful. Love it when the plan comes together like that. Helping out your team. I actually ended up helping out myself because he was aimed right at me, so that could have been quite horrible for me. Alright, we got Alpha capped. We were getting Charlie capped, but one of our Crusaders dropped artillery and killed our M16 that was on the cap. So that's unfortunate. Oh shit, a Tiger. Push forward, force him to come at me. Third person view, one shot. Gotta love this gun. Love the 90mm. It's my favorite unstabilized gun in the game. It's really easy to criticize it because of the low penetration relative to some of the other 6.3 vehicles, but it's a heck of a gun. So about 3 minutes would pass after capping A. I would leave it, head towards C, and someone would come back towards A. So I knew I would have to go back and try to intercept whatever's there, and possibly pick up an easy kill. Got airplanes up above. Not sure what it is or entirely where it is because we don't have any intel. come up here, peek around the corner, and see what we got. Didn't see anything on the other side, so I figured he's over here. An IS-2, judging by the muzzle brake on the gun. Just let him come out, we'll set up an ambush for him. This is the ideal thing for you to do in a vehicle that has such poor armor. Put a visual barrier in between you and your opponent, and let him come out and one shot. Again, it wasn't even into the crew compartment; it was into the engine. The high explosive filler in this is excellent, and that's predominantly why I talisman both the ST-A1 and the 2. If you're curious what the primary difference is between the 1 and 2, it's the engine deck on the ST-A2 doesn't have a hump on it like the ST-A1 does. So with the ST-A2, you can actually turn your turret all the way around and fire at someone behind you without getting any sort of interference. It makes quite a bit of a difference, and that's predominantly why I prefer the ST-A2 over the 1. Anyway, guys, with 6 kills, end up with just over 7,000 in research points and 42,000 in silver lions. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, click that thumbs up button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.